What a great day, and what a pleasure to be here. This is so fantastic. Well, I'm Randy. For those of you who I don't know, I'm Randy Bluffstone. I'm chair of the Department of Economics, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural Department of Economics graduation ceremony. Something long overdue, and a great pleasure to be a part of. To my left here is the distinguished faculty members who really have made this all possible. And I'd also like to welcome the family and friends who have joined the graduates today. Very welcome to Portland State University and to the graduation. And also to our Dynamite students here who we're celebrating today. It's never too early to give these guys a hand, I'd say. Well, I've got a couple things that I'd like to do today as we stand here in these medieval era robes, tracing back to the Middle Ages when higher education like this was a little bit more of an oddity than it is today. But I would also like to mention and particularly congratulate the graduates because they really joined actually in maybe a more elite company than they realize. Because there's only 6% of Americans right now have master's degrees. So it is an elite company, and only less than 9% have postgraduate degrees of any type. So this really is an amazing accomplishment. And to do this in economics is, I think, it's a special accomplishment. I don't think there's any secret that economics at the higher education level, whether bachelor's level, master's, it's not the easiest degree that you can get. I don't think that's any secret. I'm pleased to inform the graduates. I, of course, did my research a little bit anyway. Had a look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics site, and would like to let you know that you are expected to be rewarded for this achievement. Just to quote you the numbers, looks like you'll earn at the median, so 50% below, 50% above, $2 million rather than $1.2 million if you had stopped at a bachelor's. So congratulations, and don't forget about it. And when you're packing away those big bucks, don't forget about your alma mater either. In terms of economics in particular, it turns out you think there'd be such an interesting subject and such a versatile discipline. You'd think there'd be more of us, but actually, according to the BLS, now that you've achieved this master's degree, now you're fully in the company of economists. You can actually work as an economist according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it makes you one of only 15,000 in the United States. So really not very many who've achieved this level of proficiency. Now, I guess what I'd like to mention now is, of course, that we all recognize that getting to this point was not easy, and part of the reason for it not being so easy has to do with a lot of these folks right here. I particularly like those who have taught core courses to these graduates to stand. Let's see. So, Elena, Rositza, yeah, a small core. I guess Robin, and I guess one person's missing, the venerable and feared Dr. Andre Oliveira. Let's give these professors a hand. Now, I've observed some of this hard work because the place where a lot of this work gets done is in the economics department computer lab. The hub of the community, the place where the energy is expended, and so there's many times I've gone in there. For those of you who are visitors, and many times I've gone in there, and just you could feel the sweat as they're working at these computers. There's actually one person who I forgot to mention who actually was probably the most responsible for that sweat, In the computer lab, Dr. Kwan Pin Lin. Dr. Kwan Pin Lin. And I've remarked on many occasions going in there that, it seemed like the oxygen had been drained out of that room because of everybody just kind of huffing and puffing in there trying to get this stuff done in time, all these assignments. But I think that the thing that, I mean, we recognize that was tough. It was tough duty. We congratulate you on your achievement. But the thing that you can take away from this is, as you walk out of here, you can go with confidence that you are as well trained as any people who are coming out of any institution with a master's degree in economics. And you can go out there and do this analysis that needs to be done in any institution, and so the world is totally open to you. You have the tools to go ahead. Now, you've got these tools, but unfortunately it comes with a couple of responsibilities I'd like to mention. The first is these are powerful tools, and it is your responsibility to use them. You have a responsibility, I would say, to, as they say in baseball, to call them as you see them. You got to call them as you see them, because that's what your responsibility is. The world wants economists to do analysis and give the views. And so that's one responsibility. Do the analysis, call them as you see them. But as I know you realize, that I just would like to remind you, is we're a powerful discipline, but just one of many. And so I'd also suggest that you go forward with some humility, and when other disciplines have something to add to the analysis, especially in my area of environment, let's make sure that we're taking those into account, because it's also because we do have powerful tools. Sometimes we forget that there are other powerful tools in the world. Well, that's all I'd like to say in terms of congratulations, and they are very, very sincere congratulations. I've worked with many of you and your great group of students. I'd like to also finally thank you for being part of what I think is really a wonderful community here at Portland State and in the Department of Economics. Our graduate students, it's hard to imagine from the outside, perhaps, the importance of graduate students to an academic unit. They're really at the core. The faculty provide the leadership, but a lot of what goes on, a lot of that energy is provided by the graduate students. And so, I just really like to thank you all for stepping up, for being full parts of our community. We've called on all of you many times to help out with this, to give your opinion on that, and as far as I can tell, all of you have been very, very willing to do that. So a very sincere thanks for being full members of this department, and wherever you go, I know that you'll continue to do that. I hope you've enjoyed this experience, because we've really enjoyed having you. The last bit of thanks before we start the degree conferrals is I'd like to thank Jamie Woods, who's right here, Professor Jamie Woods, who from the faculty side was the instigator and the energy behind this, and so I'd like us all to join giving Jamie a hand. I'd also like to thank Margie, who's in the back doing the videotaping, our office coordinator, and the person that ultimately puts things together. And let's not kid ourselves. Okay. 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 With that, I'd like to call up Dave Urban for the first hooding.
Thank you, Randy. Can you hear me back there? Everybody okay? Good. All right. Well, it has been my delight to work with two of these graduating students. Really, just a wonderful experience. And so first I'm going to talk about Matthew Taylor, who I've worked with now for, I think, over 2 years, Matt. I'm not sure. I haven't counted up. But I have to tell you a story about how I first met Matt, because it's really interesting. I teach a course called The Economics of Sustainability, and Matt was in that course a few years back. And up to the first midterm, I didn't know Matt. But then I got the midterms back, and they were graded, and by far and away, one student had just aced the midterm. I think he got 100 or 99 or something like that. And it was Matt Taylor. And I said, and I went up to Matt afterwards and I said, Matt, why are you hiding? Because he was such a good student. He was just an exemplary student. And from that point forward, I knew how important it was, and I recruited Matt, both in terms of research and teaching assistance. And he delivered in spades the whole way through. Just did a marvelous job. He TA'd for me at least 3 times, I think, Matt, and it was a delight all the time. He never shrunk from doing all the grading that I asked him to do, and he actually went beyond that. So I would really appreciate what Matt did, and I don't know what I'm going to do without him in terms of teaching assistance going forward. Also, he's really carried a very heavy load in terms of a research program that we have on what we call genuine metrics of business sustainability. And he really has been almost single-handedly pushing that agenda forward. So, and he's done it very professionally. He's always out in front of us, leading the faculty, if you will. And so that tells you something about the qualities of Matt. He is really going to be a first-rate professional. And I can't wait to follow his career and see what he achieves, because I know it's going to be very, very successful. Matt, I want to thank you personally for being such a great student. And I wish you the very best, and I hope you stay in touch, okay? So, Matthew, I give you Matthew Taylor, who's going to be a graduate. You're going to come up here now, Matthew. And we're going to confer this, and Elena has the honor of putting you. All right. Matthew, congratulations. All right. Please join me in congratulating Matthew. So the second student I get the honor of introducing today and talking a little bit about is Stephanie Beadle. Stephanie was, I have my notes here say surprise, was because I didn't know Stephanie either, like Matthew. One day this student knocked on my door and said, "Are you Professor Urban? I'm interested in doing work on non-market valuation of environmental services." And I said, "Yes." And she said she was going to do work on arid ecosystems. And I said, "I don't know anything about that, but I'd be happy to talk to you." And one thing led to another, and Stephanie and I have been working over the last couple of years, and she has really, really done just a terrific job. And I haven't had her as a TA, unfortunately, but she has been done a superb job in terms of her master's research. Just like Matthew, very high quality work, very self-propelled, as I say. That's one of the joys of working with students like Matthew and Stephanie. Stephanie has really actually pushed the boundaries of this work, I think. And what I really love is that she taught me something new. That's not always the case when you work with students. And she was very diligent, very professional in everything she did, and really did just a first-rate job. So Stephanie, I'm really proud of you, and I want to thank you for the hard work and the great work. And I'm just like with Matthew, I want to wish you the very best in your career. Please stay in touch, and thank you for all you did for Portland State. Congratulations. All right, now I get to invite John Gallup to come up and make the next introduction.
Thank you. I'm here to say a few words about Hung Pham, who, when she was a student in Vietnam, was basically always the best. She was one of the one or two top students of the most competitive university in Vietnam, which happens to specialize in foreign trade. And when she came to PSU, it was a very hard adjustment. She had never left Vietnam. She had never studied in English. And despite performing so well at one of the best programs in Vietnam, she discovered she has significant holes in terms of her preparation in mathematics and statistics and in economic theory. And that meant that her first year was very hard for many reasons. And it was a struggle. What so impresses me about Hung is that after this struggle in the first year, she dedicated herself to her work and studied and worked extremely hard so that she became one of the above average students by her second year. She ended up doing better than most other students who were not facing a lot of these obstacles. And it makes me very proud to see what she's accomplished. And I think that she'll make significant contributions to economics, and also I think if she chooses to return to Vietnam, that she'll make very important contributions in Vietnam, because there's only a handful of people in Vietnam with the kind of training that Hung has. And in a country like that, this kind of analysis is extremely valuable. So please come up to be hooded. And next up will be Professor Worcester.
Thank you all for being here. It is a pleasure to be here. This is one of those joyous events which I look forward to. And I have the pleasure today to speak about three people. One of them is missing in action, and we promise you we will publicly humiliate him later. But today I have Allison first. Allison started the program, and she was part of one of the biggest classes that we have had in recent history. There were 20 students, and as it is with the first year, we usually have everyone starting with Professor Lin and my class, which are mathematical economics I teach, and then Professor Lin teaches econometrics. And if you survive that first term, you have a very good chance of actually keep going on. Allison was one of those people who, in a way, sometimes reminds me of me when I was starting my master's program, because of the way that she approached it. She never was the one that shone the brightest in terms of like performance on homeworks, but Allison is one of those people that gives perseverance a very sweet face. I think that in terms of what you were able to bring forward, it was perseverance. I wasn't quite sure that, you know, when I first met you, would you actually go through the whole program? But I'm delighted to see you here today. So I think congratulations is in order for all your hard work. I hope that this experience has brought out the, probably not the economist, but the researcher in you. And with Jamie's careful guidance, we also brought out the party girl in you. So we know that Allison can party as well. Allison, step up here. Thank you, Allison. And Allison has been also a delight to have as a graduate assistant. She is always there to help, and frankly, I feel you're one of those people that is the glue that holds this group of graduate students together. The next one up is... Oh, excuse me. Allison. Yeah. Give Allison a hand. It is the first time we're holding this event. Next up is Litani. Litani is a veteran. He has been here for 3 years, and he is absolutely been a tremendous help through this program. For all 3 years, he's held the graduate assistantship, and he has not only been a great help in terms of his duties as a GA, he has actually managed to also get a certificate, right, Danny? Okay, as well as a master's, a certificate in economics, environmental economics, as well as a master's in economics, albeit with your paperwork being a little bit late. We are sure that you will maintain on-time paperwork in your future applications. We are very proud of Litani, and he has expressed the interest to go on to a law school focusing in environmental issues, which I think this training which you have here will greatly prepare you for. Litani, congratulations on graduating. Congratulations to Litani. And last but not least, he's not here. Michael Pratt has been also a student who has been with us for 2 years as a graduate assistant for 1. He's done an outstanding job in terms of support in the classroom, and so Michael Pratt, although he couldn't be here, is also graduating, and we thank him for his service, and we will have a round of applause for him too. Thank you. And last but not least, I'd like to call on Randy to give a thank you to Shay Narayan.
Thank you, Rosita. Shay, why don't you come on up right now? Yeah. Yeah. I had Shay as a student in class, but really got to know him working together, advising him on his master's project. And Shay came into my office and said that he had an interest in development, and especially was very concerned about water. Now, for anybody who knows Shay, you know he can be very enthusiastic. He can be very enthusiastic, and so he came in with this energy that was just irresistible, and a lot of ideas, and we worked through some of those, and then kind of finally settled on a project. But then I really got to see kind of Shay in action. Because he really drove this project and ended up doing some sophisticated econometrics, probably some of the first detailed econometric work related to water provision in Africa. As you can imagine, there's not so much of that going on, and so I feel very confident that with a little bit of work, be able to publish this work and get it out there for other people to see. And so for that, I just would really like to congratulate Shay on his overall accomplishment, but particularly on this master's project, which really is truly excellent, and we're going to let other people know a lot about it. So congratulations, Shay. And so I'd like to invite Sarah up to Shay. we could just join me in a round of applause for all these graduates. And I forgot to mention, they all served as graduate assistants, which is an honor in itself. Well done. Well, I guess, you know, I guess it's all been said. It's all been said in some detail. And so I understand that there's some glasses that are about to come around. Is that correct? So, I'd like to... Oh, okay. I guess we need 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to just kind of keep talking for 5 minutes. We're going to wait we're going to wait for these glasses to come around, and then let's have a brief toast. Just a second. I guess they won't be coming around. So let's all just go up there and we'll get a little glass and maybe convene over there by the drinks and toast our graduates.